What's going on, world? I'm Wesley from A Connection TV, the one channel on YouTube where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And I am here with another wonderful lady from Bad Girls Club Season 12, Miss Britt. What's going on, lady? What's going on?
I'm good.
It's nice to finally have you on screen.
I finally talk to you.
Yeah, definitely face to face. I don't have on the wig. I don't have on the boobs. You know,
how's that feel?
It feels great. No, but I like doing these interviews as myself because it allows me to be myself with you. Because it is reality TV and you guys aren't acting a role. I feel that I shouldn't be when I do these interviews. So that's kind of like why I do these. Yeah. There's been a lot of talk about you on Twitter and
I already know.
Watching these episodes. We have words like follower coming after you and all of these things. How do you feel about that real quick?
Honestly, I can be a woman and admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong in a lot of the decisions I made. I was going through a lot of shit back home, and unlike the other girls, which now I commend them for being able to open up and talk about it, I was so fucking stubborn, and I was like, I ain't got nothing to work on, I'm cool. But as time progressed, you know, you can see the transition. Like, I'm cool, I'm chilling, I'm partying, I'll say what I gotta say, but I had a lot of shit going on, and it was via email, because I didn't want to talk about it on the phone. I didn't want people to know what exactly was going on in my family's life. But by me not opening up and by me being so fucking stubborn and so just headstrong and I don't give a fuck what you say, I had the most I don't give a fuck attitude in that house. And I'm not saying that like I'm proud of it. But like the whole follower shit, I'm gonna tell you right now, I did what the fuck I wanted to do. Can't nobody in this world make me do anything that I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can make it far in life and being a follower, and I've, you know, I did a lot, I accomplished a lot, but I wish I could say I was following. No, I did that shit on my own. I did that shit because I wanted to, and that doesn't make it right, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm a bad bitch because of it, but by me not talking about what the fuck I was really going through, resorted in, okay, man, you get on my nerves, I can take it this day, I can take it, but man, you are petty, man, because y'all see 45 minutes to 7 days. So I would take, like, the littlest shit, and it would build up, so I'm like, man, I can't stand that bitch.
Right.
It didn't make no sense to be like that, but that's just how I was acting about it.
Okay, so we about to dig some digs into this whole situation with you and BGC 12, but for the people that do not know, where are you from and how old are you?
I'm 24. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay. Were you 24 on the show?
Mm-hmm. I just turned 24.
Okay. What made you decide to do BGC? And did you try out for any other seasons?
I tried out, we filmed a year ago, so I tried out the year before. So I guess it would have been, I don't know what season it would have been, but the year before I tried out, I didn't make it. So, you know, I was going to school, I was bartending, you know, I was doing my thing. They actually contacted me through email, was like, hey, you know, we're doing like a turnaround season with a life coach, and would you like to audition again? You know, we still have your things from last year. So I'm like, yeah, you know, whatever, I'll do it. So I tried out, I didn't think much of it, you know, I didn't think I was going to get it, but you know, as time progressed and I got further and further, I was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to Bad Girls Club, like, I'm on vacation, I'm at the party, fuck it, you know, I want to be on there. And, you know, I made it, and that's how shit was in the beginning for me. You know, I was just kicking it. I was chilling, but I had a lot of shit going on in my family. I had someone extremely close to me relapse on a very, like, deadly drug. So, it really, like...
Aww.
I don't know, that really got to me, and I carried that with me. And I didn't want to talk about it because I was like, man, y'all bitches don't know what I'm going through. I'm not going to talk about it. Oh, excuse me.
No problem.
But yeah, like, I was going through a lot of shit, and I was so stubborn because I was like, can't nobody relate to me.
Right.
You know, like, and instead of being the normal, like, chill, let's party type of person that I am, I carried that shit with me, and it made me just lash out. You know, I was lashing out left and right. Even at the reunion, you know, it didn't take me until I seen the shit to be like, damn, like, you was mean.
Aww. Aww. It's gonna be alright. It's all
My
right.
makeup better not be messed up, or I'm gonna be pissed.
No, you're fine. What did any season or any Bad Girl inspire you to do the show specifically?
Not necessarily. Like, I had watched it a few times, and I was like, man, these bitches ain't bad, man. They sleeping on couches. They get money from this person. These bitches ain't bad. You know, a bad girl gets theirs. You know, they are independent. They take care of their own. A bad girl don't take no shit. You know, they finish shit. So I would see shit and I'd be like, you prancing around like you're a bad girl, but you're the first one to name drop, you know, somebody you slept with. I didn't really look at it like that's a bad girl. So I'm like, I'm gonna go on the show. I'm gonna show you what a bad girl is. And so that's like my whole thing from watching. I'm like, man, I'm gonna go on there. You know, y'all bitches can do it. I know I'm gonna get on there.
How does your family feel about you now that the episodes are airing and now that, you know, you're more out there? And what does your mom think about it?
Me and my mom don't really talk that much. She kind of just does her own thing. My family's very supportive. They don't really understand, you know, the drama shit. They don't understand the girl shit, but, you know, they're there for me. You know, they know why I was acting the way I was because of everything back home. So it's kind of like they get it. You know, if you really know me, you get it.
Okay. So you get the call to be on the show. What were you doing at the particular time that you got the final, like, you're on Bad Girls Club?
I was in Target with my little sister, and I was taking her school shopping. So while we're walking through, and, you know, I'm just walking, I get the call, and they're like, you're on the Bad Girls Club. I just scream, oh my God, I'm so fucking excited. Man, you got everybody looking at me, and then she's like, Sissy, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, baby. You know, hold on a second.
How old is she?
She's 13.
Aw, adorable.
She's an angel. She's
yeah. How does she feel about you being like? Do you let her watch you on the show?
She doesn't watch it, no.
Okay.
She's like, she'll be in the 8th grade next year, but she was in the 7th grade. And she's like, yeah. So everyone's talking like you're on the Bad Girls Club, and like I don't know what to say. Like I'm like, yeah, but she's you know she's not very mean. And I'm like, Erin, it's okay. She don't get it. She's 12.
Yeah.
Or she was 12 then. She's 13 now. So
right.
She's just like, oh.
Okay, that's cute. It's always interesting to see how the family dynamic changes once somebody's on a TV screen. You know what I'm saying?
They don't even look at it. They're just like, okay, like, you're on the Bad Girls Club. All right, Sissy, can we go here? Like, they don't even.
Right, that's funny. So you get on the show, and the first girl that you meet is Lauren, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts about her, and how was the vibe between you and her?
I seen Lo walking, like, she was walking down the steps, and I was already sitting there, and I was like, oh, she's cute. Like, she just came down there. You can tell she's just. So she comes and sits down. Like, we clicked right off because we were like, what's up? You know, let's drink, let's party. We clicked right off.
What was the arrangement between all the girls meeting on the roof? Did you guys get like sidebar conversation and say like, this is how we want to do it, or did they just say, meet all the girls on the roof? Like, how did that work?
Well, so me and Lo, we met first, and then we took a limo to the rooftop, and everyone was sitting up there. I think it was Red, Jada, Lindsay, and Alex. So, you know, we get there, so, we walk in, and it's just like, you know, it was crazy. We didn't really know what to expect.
Okay.
So we didn't know that we were going to be, basically almost the last two to walk in. But I think that by doing it like that, you know, us all meeting there versus like coming into the house, I think it helped us get along better, like in the beginning, because it was like we all entered the house as one.
Right.
We didn't all just, you know, individually come in and be like, this is my shit, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Makes sense. So all the ladies get in the limo, and already some drama is going on because a girl burps and Lindsay make a comment and then all hell breaks loose. Explain what was going on with that situation.
Man, for one, Lindsay, she was drunk, you know, she said she was drunk, but she was so damn sloppy. So, you know, you see what you see. You know, TV is TV. But she did not stop. Man, I'm talking about the first second I seen her pulling her pants down, like just sloppy. Like she was like spinning when she talked. Like she was messy as hell. You know, and I'm like, man, I've had those nights. I'm not even gonna judge you right now.
Right.
But then when we get in a limo, you know, I just felt like she was very just boisterous and very just going off and like, you know, old girl birth. I'm like, man, you awesome, you birth. Like I'm a birth too. I got a birth. So what's up? But then she just, I don't even. Man, that shit was a year ago. But then for her to be like, just to go off on that.
Right. Did you at that point think that Lindsay was kind of crazy? Did you like what was going on?
I just didn't think she really had a lot of common sense. Like I just don't think that she thought through before she opened her mouth. Like I just think she was just like sometimes you need to have a thinking process before you just start talking because then you're just something stupid.
Right. Okay. So I want to skip to a little altercation that occurred between Jada and Lindsay in the limo. When Lizzie started going crazy and started throwing cups and everything all over the place. If one of those cups would have hit you, what do you think you would have done?
At that point, like, I was kind of over it. Like, we just had a good time. I mean, she was all sloppy drunk at the club, you know, and then we get in the limo, and then here she goes again. It's like, damn, like, are you really not having a good time? Like, it's really that bad? So, if a cup would hit me, I probably would have just made it a point to grab the cup and made sure that it hit back.
Lindsay goes home. Are you happy? Are you annoyed? Are you confused when she goes home?
I was happy she went home. She was just messy. Like, just a messy ass girl. Like, she had no reason to be messy. We ain't even been there for a whole day for you to be so mad and to be so damn. Girl, calm down. It took me, you know, almost a month to get me to the point that I was. Like, girl, we've been here for hours, and you're right. You need to go home and reevaluate some shit.
So after Lindsay leaves, it seems to like a lot of the girls seem to like turn against Alex. Can you explain why you think people were going against Alex, or why did you particularly have a problem with Alex?
I didn't necessarily have a problem with her. Like, I'm one of them people, which, like, if you kind of get on my nerves, I'm going to kind of distance myself from you. Like, I don't always feel like it's necessary to be like, da-da-da-da. I'm going to kind of distance myself from you. Obviously, you can't go that far in the bad girl's house, which I learned. But, like, with her, I think that I don't think she's a bad person. I think she's a very good person. But with the way that she acted, she kind of came off to people that don't understand that that's just her, that she just thought she was, well, I'm above this. Well, this is me. You know, I don't think she really understood that she was coming off like that, but she was. So I think that kind of made people be like, okay, well, you ain't shit for real. I think that's how people looked at it.
Okay. Were you mad when she didn't invite you guys to the fashion show?
I was just like, I mean, I don't know why you're going to say something about it and then not do it. You know, like, I mean, if you just don't mention it, you know, you want to do your own thing, cool. Don't mention it, and then because that's just going to make it a point to piss people off. Right. If you don't want people to go, don't even say that.
Okay. How did you feel when Lauren approached her in the phone booth? Did you think that was just...
When I seen it? Because I didn't even know that shit was going on. I was drunk in the backyard somewhere. I was just kicking it. Like, I was cool.
So you weren't around at that time?
I wasn't in there. No, I wasn't in there.
Oh.
I mean, I've seen it on TV.
Did you understand where Lauren was coming from? Did you understand why she was angry?
I think everybody's different. And I think Lo was like, for real, like, bitch, I didn't have a problem with you. Like, why are you going to say something now? But I think she was really just venting, you know, on the phone. And I think I can kind of see where both of them are coming from.
Okay.
Like, definitely Lo, because I can see where Lo's coming from. Because it's like, you know, no one necessarily had a problem with you. You're wanting to create it and act like you're above some shit, you know?
Okay.
So.
Okay. Did you ever try to have like a one-on-one kind of conversation with Alex, or y'all just never really connect like that?
We talked. I'm not gonna say that I didn't like. It wasn't as split as Fast Forward and Lane 3, whatever. Like, it wasn't like, okay, it was never like you know, we're grouped up like that to where we can't even fucking make eye contact. It wasn't like that, you know. But I mean, I talked to her. It's just there's nothing I could really relate to her about, you know. I couldn't really relate to, you know. I got a lot of shit going on in my life. I don't have just. We just couldn't relate, and you know, I'm one of them people like. Well, you know, I'm trying to change my ways, but if I can't relate to you and if I don't fuck with you, like, I don't care, you know. So with her, it was, I just couldn't really. There was no like connection, you know.
Do you think that you and her were similar in the sense that you guys didn't want to open up with the rest of the girls, like, because you said that you just went through some dramatic stuff before getting into the house. So did you have those kind of intimate conversations with Red?
Oh, with me, I mean, I had been through a lot my whole life, but mine really started when I was in the house. It was after I'd already been in the house. You know, I was getting emails because, you know, it didn't want to be broadcasting on the phone.
Okay.
And so I was getting emails about some stuff. So with me, it wasn't like I didn't go into the house not wanting to open up. You know, I went in the house like, I'm cool. Like, I don't need help. I'm good. But then shit started happening while I was there, and it's just like, man, I don't, there's so much petty shit going on in this house. I don't feel like I can open up my life problems. Like, you got bitches fighting over this, that. I can't open up to what I'm really going through. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the situation because reviewing the episodes, like the first couple, actually, even this last episode, the fights are for like dumb shit, like
petty ass shit. But I'm saying right now, that house will make you petty. I ain't gonna sit here and lie like I was petty, but I was just so over it, man. I was like, man, I'm so fucking sick of y'all dumb bitches. Y'all be arguing. I don't give a fuck. That's why I'm like, fight me. Like I got so frustrated to the point that I was just like, you know, like just so over it. Yeah. It was so stupid.
And that's how I feel watching the show. That's why I'm laughing, because I'm just like, I'm thinking about the first real fight between Lauren and Jada, because, you know, Jada was a flip-flopper, or was called a flip-flopper, and then they fight. And I'm just like, huh? like what? Did you?
I was so drunk. I've seen that clip where I'm like, I'm not drunk. Every time I say I'm not drunk, I'm drunk. So I was like, we said we was gonna sit down and address the motherfucking issue. Like, I was just like, man, we was just at the club. I thought.
Right. Did you think that Jada was a flip flopper in the house?
At the time I did. At the time I thought like she was just trying to fit in and, you know, trying to play both sides.
Okay. Can you explain what happened between wanting to aggravate Jada when Red was going to like taunt Jada when the boys were there? I think BJ and Z were there.
Oh, you know what happened with that? Okay, which doesn't make it right, but what happened with that is, you know, she was in the room and she was, I don't necessarily remember the whole conversation, but she was talking to him and in a way kind of like acting like Red never slept in her bed, and I had said something that wasn't shown. I'd been like, don't try to act like she wasn't in your bed. You know she was in her bed, and she's whatever, brush it off, blah, blah, blah. So then I go tell Red, I'm like, man, she's trying to act like she wasn't in your bed. And then, you know, Red goes in there. And so it took a minute for that to escalate, for me to get mad, because when somebody bumps me, I know when I bump somebody, I do it on purpose. So when somebody, I felt like she bumped me on purpose, I was like, don't brush past me like that. Don't do that. You know, and I went off, but I look back and I'm like, it was not that serious.
Right. It really wasn't. Do you think that Jada knew that Red was playing with her to get her to a breaking point, or do you think that actually, this is my question, do you think that Red was serious with trying to break her down?
Red was playing.
Okay.
But, you know, people, you know, thought that she took it too far. Like, I can see, like, me and Red clicked on some personal shit. So I can see Red, I know who Red, like, I know who she is, and I know that she didn't mean no harm. She wasn't trying to be malicious. But, man, she was, that's a lot of shit.
Yeah. In one of your post confessionals, you said that the house was getting boring, and you wanted some drama to start, some shit to start, and that you would possibly be starting the drama. Why do you think you said that? What was going through?
it was like super duper just chill. Like we were just sitting around not doing shit. Like we hadn't went out. Like I was just bored. Like it was just nothing going on. Like we had one phone. It was hot. The air conditioner stopped working. Like we hadn't did shit. It was boring as hell.
Right. So what was the who came up with the idea of putting the condoms in Asia's bed?
I don't even remember. I know I was a part of it. I think I did. I don't know.
When Asia got there, what were your thoughts about her?
When Asia walked in?
Yeah.
She just seemed like a party girl. She just seemed like coming in like, I'm here to just chill and party.
Okay.
I can't say like, with me being home and like really looking at shit for what it is, I'm not going to sit here and say that I have a problem with these girls or that I don't necessarily like them because I didn't really give them a chance to not like them. So I don't even know them to not like them. So with how my way of thinking now versus when I was in the house or even at the reunion, it's completely different now because I'm like, once I realized that I got to put my guard down and once I realized I can't be acting like I don't give a fuck, because everything that I ever went through, I used it as fuel to be like, fuck you, I'm going to keep making it, I graduated early, I got my own house early, I did all this shit, but I never really, when it came to drama, I was like, man, fuck it, whatever, I'm going to drop you, I'm going to cut people off. But being in that house, you can't drop shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like, if you didn't express yourself, the way that I acted, I didn't express myself, so I was getting annoyed, after time went on.
Right.
Because I wasn't expressing myself, and I talk to the life coach now. I'm like, bitch. Well, I don't call her bitch, but I'm like, I was a bitch. She's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry, okay, because you ain't that bad.
That's interesting. That's really really interesting because I was going to ask you, did you think that you took anything positive away from the life coach?
I took a lot of things positive from the life coach. I may have had my guard up because I really felt like, okay, I'm independent, I'm successful, I got my own shit, I'm doing me, I'm good. I thought that that's all that there was. When shit goes wrong, you gotta talk about that shit. You gotta settle it. You can't just cut people off. You can't just be like, fuck you. You gotta talk about that shit.
Right.
So I really I took that home with me. I took that home with me and I feel like a better person because of that. Because I realized, you can't just bottle shit up and just use it as fuel to just, for success.
Right. And that makes a whole lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that you're able to walk away from the show and that experience with some good, heartfelt, positive emotions. In the latest episodes, the last couple of episodes, it really seems like the Fab Four are against Asia. My question is, why did you guys really think that Asia was weak, even after the first main altercation with her and Jada? Because the way that it was explained to me was that when Jada and Asia had the little altercation at the club or whatever, you guys got back to the house, you guys wanted to talk about the situation, but Asia was just in her own little world, didn't want to have anything to do with y'all. And then as she walks to go into the living room, I guess where you all were, she fights Jada. So as a new girl coming into the house, that was kind of like a bossy type way to act. Why do you think it is that you girls think that Asia is so weak, in these last couple of episodes, even after a situation like that?
It's just that she, to come in and automatically, I had asked her that the next day, why did you even want to think, why was your first thought who's going to go home next? Why was your way of thinking that when you're coming into the house? Why are you trying to ask who's going home and pinpoint, why are you asking that? Because why does that matter? So I didn't understand her. I couldn't, like I said, back then, if I couldn't relate to you, I was just like, man, I don't even understand your way of thinking. So I don't even want to fuck with you.
Interesting.
But the way I mean, this shit was so long ago. I'm trying to think back and shit.
Did you have a crush on anybody in the house, or are you strictly Dickley?
Strictly Dickly.
All
I've been in a
right.
relationship for the past 4 years.
Okay, so you was in a relationship in the house.
Yeah, they didn't even show none of that shit. They didn't even show me talking to my babe every single day. Like, they're like, it's TV. He heard his name try to walk through. TV is TV, I know. But it's like, you can't blame everything on editing because you can't edit the way I acted. But you can edit scenarios. You know, you can not show something and you can show something.
Right.
Like, I'm being shown, I'm so mad over some shit. When stuff really did escalate that. Like, when I was going off on Asia, when she walked outside, this is how it happened. I was on the phone with my boyfriend, actually, and I heard my name. Everybody was sitting in the living room talking. I heard my name. I walked out of the phone booth, and I was like, what's going on? They're like, oh, we're just having a house meeting, group conversation. Everybody's in there. So I'm like, cool, I heard my name. I know if I respect who I am, so I'm going to come sit down and I'm going to listen to everybody talk. So everyone's talking about everything that's been going on about Asia, Jada, this and that. The whole time everyone's talking, it went by, 20, 30 minutes. Asia's in the chair just spinning around, looking up, playing with the arms on the chair, just, and her, reasoning was she didn't feel like talking. Okay, cool, but the way I looked at it is like, okay, I got off the phone, I stopped doing what I was doing to come sit down in here and talk to y'all, and you ain't even trying to hear nothing? Because I didn't have to get off the phone. So it's like, and as soon as, like, so much time of us sitting in there went by, I was sitting up and I was like, man, I can't stand that bitch. That's how I felt, because that's how I reacted to it. They didn't show
Right.
that. They didn't show me on the phone
Right.
getting stopping what I'm doing to come sit down and see, okay, what's up,
Right.
y'all talking about me, I'm gonna come sit down and hear what y'all gotta say. They didn't show that.
Right.
They just show me going off like I'm just mad.
Right, like you just want to fight her and fight her.
I didn't know. And with me being like, man, I've been in a lot of fights and I'm not proud of that. But like, I didn't use it as like, man, I want to fucking whoop her ass. I was just like, man, just one time, as in like knock sense into somebody, like as an expression. I didn't mean like I was so out to get her, because I didn't know her enough to have that legit of a problem.
Okay, that makes a hell of a lot of sense, and I'm glad that we're finally able to get to hear that.
Yeah, like I seen that shit, I was like, okay, so they're not gonna show me on the phone. Cool, maybe they'll show. Okay, so they're not even showing me talk. Okay, so I'm like, damn. I would be like, why is she tripping?
Right.
Same
Because that's what everybody on Twitter is asking me to ask you. Why are you so mad at Asia? What is it about Asia? Why? But
I don't even dislike the bitches now. I don't. Like, I would be lying to say I have problems with these girls. But in that house, certain things triggered me and pissed me off. Like, and it made it that's not right, but it's like, I saw what I was doing to come in here, sitting here and talk to you. You just looking and spinning around in the chair like ain't nobody talking. The fuck?
Right. No, that makes sense. I got you. So let me ask you, the triangle between Diamond, Blue, and Asia. I think it was 2 episodes ago, or I can't remember. But you and Red started calling Asia a hoe, and really seemed like y'all felt disrespected by her. Was it because of the triangle that was going on between Blue and Diamond? Do you know why? What was going on with the dynamic, and why y'all thought she was a hoe? Or
I mean, I didn't really take that shit serious.
Seriously?
Like,
Okay.
I didn't really take that whole, there's, like the little relationship. I didn't take that shit serious. Like,
Okay.
I didn't care. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I didn't look at it any deeper than what I thought it was.
Okay. I had a question for Alex, and I'm gonna ask you the same question. When you girls will go out, like you went to Whirly Ball, you will go to the clubs or whatever. When you girls will go out, it seemed like you were all getting along, things were working great. But when you get back to the house, it becomes a huge problem, and the house is so divided. Why do you think that was such an issue for you guys in the house?
With me, I had the bitches that I clicked with from the beginning. Those are who I talked to. Like, I couldn't really relate. I didn't give the other bitches a chance to even relate to them. So with me, I was just kind of like, the first few little things, I'm just like, okay, so this happened because of this. I'm drunk, so I don't, like, a lot of the times the shit was going on, I didn't even know what the fuck was really going on. You know, until like the whole X on the face, I knew what was going on with that. But like before then, I was just like kicking it. So I didn't really at the club. I knew I wanted to go out. We're finally out of this damn house, like away from everything. I just want to party. And so I think when you come back home, it's kind of just like picking up where you left off before you left.
Okay. At the time when the X showed up, did you think that the girls did it, or did you think that the producers were trying to egg y'all on?
I thought that. Man, I don't care about this shit. No. I thought that Asia did it because she was like the first to pass blame, but she probably didn't do it. I don't know. Like, who cares? I don't.
Before y'all went to Lake Geneva, what were your thoughts? And then going to Lake Geneva, were you excited to get out of the house? Like,
what do you mean, like before?
Before, like right before y'all got the little gift box and that you were going to Lake Geneva, like where was your headspace? And then finding out that you were going to Lake Geneva, did that like make you feel better? Were you happier to get out the house?
I was excited to get out of the house. Like we hadn't been doing nothing. Like we was bored. Nothing was going on. Like I was happy to get out of the house and just get a break, you know. After all the drama and shit, like I was happy to get out of the house and just chill. I thought I was going to chill.
They really set y'all up, bring y'all to that damn house in Lake Geneva and only having 2 goddamn rooms.
Dude, I know. Like, we was like legit on a mission, like, okay, y'all got these rooms. We're about to try to find like a secret spot. And we ain't find nothing.
Right.
We came right back in.
Right. Was it a problem for the Fab Four to be sleeping on couches?
I mean, I don't care now, but at that point, I was like, I'm sleeping in a damn bed.
Yeah. Okay. Did you think that caused friction in the house? Because it seemed like y'all were really... It seemed like Lauren didn't want no drama. It seemed like you didn't want any drama. And it just seemed like y'all were trying to keep the peace more so than ever. Why is that, do you think?
We were away from the house. We were away from... you know, just being in that confined area and just, you know, everything that went on, like, we was away from it all.
Okay. Why do you think, looking back at it now, why do you think Red was so hard up on a lot of the girls, especially at Lake Geneva?
I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, because, I mean, this last episode was a really good episode because it actually showed a divide and a change and a shift in the house. So to speak, it went from the Fab Four to the Fab Three, and now Asia, Jada, and Alex are cool, or whatever the case may be, and Red is on the outs. Like, did you understand why Jada and Red fought in the house that particular night?
I know they had been arguing for a long time. Like there's a lot of things that was going on with that argument that led to that. I don't think that either one of them really wanted to fight each other. I think it just escalated to that point. Okay.
Was the word in the previews before that episode? We saw Jada using the N word and saying "my nigga" or something like that.
I know that was like. I thought that was the reason why they fought. I thought that's what escalated everything, because that was thrown out there in the argument, you know, that you didn't see, you know, that was thrown out there, and, you know, it was like, you know, she was convincing everybody that she had she was something black in her or something, so she had that right to say it, and it just kept going on back and forth.
How do you feel about using that word? Or how did you feel about her using the word?
I don't use it, but I mean, it's not, my boyfriend's mixed, you know. I don't feel like it gives me an entitlement to say it. That's just not what I do. But I'm not going to judge somebody that does it because I don't know their way of thinking.
Okay. How did you feel when Red didn't want to do any of the physical challenges with you guys?
I was like, I'm over this. Girl, we up on this rope. You better get your ass on this rope.
I was really, and you know, I said in my last review, like, it really, not that I take it personal or whatever, but it's just an aggravation when you see someone that is big and they boast and they have a lot of confidence, or at least they exude that, but then when they come to these certain situations and ordeals, they kind of clam up and back away from that. Did you have any kind of talks with Red to like boost her confidence or something during this time period? Like, it seemed like she was really like down and out.
During the time when we were doing like the rope challenge?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I mean, I didn't really see, I was just, well, I don't know, I was doing my own thing. So I don't really know how she was thinking about it. I knew we had to climb this damn rope and I wanted to get food afterwards. So I was just like, okay, let's do it. You know, I had to jump off that thing. Like,
right.
So I don't really know how, you know, how she was thinking.
When Blue had came to you and Lauren about how she felt about Red, what was going on in your head at the particular moment?
I had thought that, you know, that she may have been doing stuff, you know, out of her character because I got to know another side, but I don't really think that she was ever trying to be malicious looking back. Like, I think she was just joking around. Like, she was just doing her own thing. So, looking at it then, I was like, okay, well, how do I know you ain't being true to me? Because we clicked on some real shit. So, how do I know that, you know, this ain't just all for the whole Bad Girls Club? But me and Red, actually, we talked about this stuff. We talked about it in the house. I don't know if they're going to show it, but we talked about it when I was like, look, you know, I didn't agree with this, this, and this, but, you know, we clicked on some real shit, and I don't know if the person that people may think you are, I don't see that. You know, I see a good side of you. So, you know, we came to a clear understanding, and then after the show aired, we talked about stuff, but I don't think it was as harmful as, you know, it may seem. Okay. I don't think she was out to get anybody.
Okay. What are we going to see that's different or that changes for you in this latest episode? Because it seemed like...
Man, I went crazy. Like I said, around that time, right after we got back from Lake Geneva, I got a few emails, just a lot of bad stuff going on. Like I said, someone that I was really close to, that I still am close to, you know, relapsed on a very bad drug. One of my little brothers was lost in custody. There's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of things going on that I'm able to talk about it now because I looked at, back then, during that time period, I looked at vulnerability as like weakness. I looked at it like, I'm not going to sit here and cry about my problems. Like, no, you know, I'm not going to cry about it. I'm just going to keep doing it. Like, I'm going to avoid it. But now I look at it like to be able to admit like some real shit that you're going through, I think that's like a sign of strength now. Right. But back then, I was so fucking headstrong, and I just had this I don't give a fuck attitude, and that got to me. And the littlest things, whether it be Jada or whoever, someone pissed me off, and I would just go off. And, you know, I lashed out on the wrong people because of shit that I was going through. I'm not excusing that because there's not an excuse in the world. Right. That was why I was, you know, it took me to be home, even after the reunion. It took for shit to air for me to really look at shit and be like, okay, you know, I need to be able to express shit to be able to show, you know, who I am. Because I ain't no fucking, like, I ain't like that. Right. But I mean, TV is TV, so it doesn't show everything.
Do you think that the reason that you lashed out on, I think her name is Delilah, one of the replacements, they keep showing it in every freaking, you know, trailer. Do you think...
Like I said, I regret any physical altercation that I got that you will see. I regret all of it because it shouldn't have came to that. And with her though, she came into that house to pick. Like she came into that house to try to start shit. And I don't remember when I talk about this.
You can't say too much.
Okay, well,
but you can just I
had already been over it. I was already going through some shit. And she was literally picking at each girl. And she was just obnoxious. Like, when I tell you it was just uncontrollable, like, it should have never got to that point at all.
Because people are speculating, of course, and they're saying that because everybody knows that Red leaves, everybody knows that, so it's not like a secret. But they're saying that because Red leaves, you know, Britt became a loose cannon, and she's going off beating up people in the house, and you know all this.
Okay, so I left because of Red. No, I was sad. I got sent home. I cried. My ass don't cry.
Yeah.
Well, I earlier because of some shit, but
right.
I don't
No,
cry.
right. So
like, I was sad. I was like, damn, like.
So the situation had nothing to do with.
Patient.
It had nothing to do with Red or whatever the case may be.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, people have their little assumptions. You know, you gotta clear some stuff up. You know, because people gonna always talk.
I didn't think I was gonna get sent home. I didn't. Like when I got into her, I did not think I was gonna get sent home. Considering the fact that I tried to remain cool and kept my cool.
Okay.
I thought that would be in consideration, but my ass got sent home.
Okay. When another replacement comes in and we find out that it's Lauren's cousin, all I want to know is what did you think about that situation? Them bringing in a family member.
Just what I thought about her coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's dope. I don't know. She was. I met her at the reunion. She was really sweet. But I don't really have any opinion on it. She's really sweet, but I don't really know her.
Okay. Now, another scandalous rumor is that you girls jump at the reunion. So, do girls...
I would never do that. I would never do that, ever.
So, girls don't jump at the reunion?
I don't jump at the reunion. I don't know what happened. I didn't jump. I don't know. I'm crazy, but I didn't jump.
Okay. So, what are your thoughts about jumping? Do you think that there's a valid reason to do that?
I don't necessarily agree with it because I know what I'm capable of, which I regret any physical altercation I got on the Bad Girls Club.
Okay.
I don't agree with jumping whatsoever. There would never be a circumstance for me to engage in that, but people have their own views, so that's on them.
Were you able to come clean about a lot of situations or how you felt at the reunion? Do you think?
Hell no. When I went to the hotel, we were shown some episodes. They didn't show this little crazy ass little firecracker that I'm being. They showed who I normally am. Just I'm chilling. I'll dress you like normal shit. But then I didn't see all that. So all I knew is I picked up where I left off. Like, okay. You was talking shit when I left. Okay, so I'm here. So I regret not trying to look at everything in a bigger picture at the reunion.
Okay. Well, they got to keep the show moving. They got to try to keep shit happening and popping off. But that's interesting. That's really interesting. I'm hearing that BGC 13 is the last season. How do you feel about that if it is the last season?
No. I don't know how I feel with that.
Yeah. Would you do anything else with Oxygen? Would you do a BGC All-Star Battle or? I
think I would do an All-Star Battle. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm going a different route with the Bad Girls Club. I want to I used to be a substitute teacher back when I was in college and stuff.
Okay.
So I have contacts throughout the different high schools in my city and the surrounding areas. So what I'm doing is I have credits in communications and public speaking. So I want to talk to kids and just about anti-bullying, and I think that sometimes anti-bullying focuses on the people that are being bullied, but with me, sometimes people don't know how to handle themselves, so they're very defensive and that they are not expressing themselves, so they don't realize that they are lashing out on the wrong people. So I wanted to talk to just different groups of young teenagers at schools and just let them know my experience. You have to talk about some shit to be able to get over it. You have to face what you're going through, regardless. You know, with me, I always thought because everything that I was going through, that I wasn't turning to drugs or I wasn't turning to men. You know, so I thought it was okay. You know, I was turning to, all right, well, I got me a new house, I got a new car, you know, I'm going to school. I looked at it like that. But it's still the same way. I never faced what I was going through. So I want to talk to, you know, high school kids, because I think that things here lately just get out of hand, and I don't want to let you know, how I acted on the show define me, because that person that you see, I was going through a lot of shit, and that's not me. You know, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
I understand exactly. I understand exactly what you're trying to say. And it's cool that you have changed in a way to where you feel comfortable to speak, period. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, everybody goes through things. I've gone through a lot. On my last review, I talked about how I wanted to commit suicide twice. So, I mean, everybody goes through dramatic situations. I've had dramatic situations with my father. Dramatic situations in my immediate family, and still to this day, it's still not like, I haven't been able to say I love you to my mother up until like 3 years ago is when I was able to really say, Mom, I love you. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like I'm 15 years old. So, you know, everybody
holding on to it.
Yeah. You know, everybody has a past and everybody has some things that they go through. So
you just can't let it affect you.
Right. You know, and you just got to keep moving forward. So I appreciate you doing this interview and being able to talk candidly about your situation. We're gonna try to have a little fan fun here. I'm gonna mention the girl's name, and you're gonna say one word about the girl that describes her to you. First girl is Lindsay.
Oh Jesus, let's think. I think she's just lost.
Okay. Alex.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really want to. I didn't get to know these girls, so you know, I didn't really. Okay, let me think. I don't want to play.
It could be how you feel now. It could be the new Brit looking on the girls that she met.
She's nice.
Okay. Jada.
That's what I'm saying. I don't really want to pass. Judgment. I don't know these girls. I looked at them in a negative way.
So if you were to see any of these, like, who do you talk to now that the show's over?
I talk to Red. Occasionally I talk to Blue and Low.
Okay. So you're still cool with all of you girls are still cool. If Alex were to call you today, would you speak to her, or would you try to hang out with her?
She was to call me. I mean, I don't have nothing against her.
Okay, so that's.
I don't have nothing against any of them.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to name one girl out of this situation. Who would you trust if you left some money on the dresser and left the room? Out of the girls in your cast, who would you trust to be in that room to not take your money? One girl.
Blue.
Okay. Who would you trust to jump in a situation if you were fighting and somebody jumped you? One girl that you would trust to jump into the situation.
Red.
Okay. Who would you go on a road trip with to discover a new world? One person.
So we're just going on a road trip?
Yep.
Low, because she turns up.
All right. And the last question is, who would you spend 3 months with on a deserted island?
My damn self.
Okay. Well,
no, out of all the girls or just anyone?
Out of girls on your show. The girls on your show.
Just me. No.
Do you get along with any other girl from any other bad girls? Have any of them try to reach out to you or whatever?
not talking like on the phone or anything like that. Just like Twitter, you know, a few girls, but I don't really know any other girls.
Okay. What is the last thing that you want this Twitter world and this BGC fan world to know about Britt?
That a bad girl can change. Okay. A bad girl can admit when they're wrong, and they can turn a negative into a positive.
Okay. Okay. That's really good. That's really, really good. Suffice it to say, I like you on the show. People want me to bash you on the show and all this extra shit. I'm like, I don't have time for that. First of all, I'm grown. Second of all, Britt has not done anything to me. And third of all, I already know what the formula of this show is. So it's
right.
Like between all of the stuff that I've heard happen to these girls prior to this season, like, I'm not a novice to watching Bad Girls Club. So I'm sure there's like, and that's what I said in my review. I'm sure that there is a reason for everything that we see on the fucking show.
You can see, like, I'm not gonna just trip for no reason. Like, so there's things like you can't edit. Like I said, you can't edit why I'm acting the way I am. You can't edit what led up to that. Right. So, you know, you gotta kind of put two and two together. Like, if I'm just chilling and then I'm snapping, what?
Right.
Okay, I thought I had a legit reason.
Right, which is one of the reasons, definitely why I wanted to talk to you, because even before the season started, I was like, okay, she's about to be my preseason fave. I'm getting like this kind of rah-rah about her, and she seems really down and in your face. If you pop off, she's gonna pop off too. And that's the kind of, you know, that's the kind of bad girl attitude that I liked, you know, and that attracts me to certain girls about the show. And then when I'm starting to watch these episodes, I'm like, I gotta find out what's the tea, what's going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you doing this interview. I hope you got some things off your chest.
Yeah, I feel better.
Okay, well, thank you so much.